So good evening one more time. I'm really privileged, I'm really honored that you invited me here. Especially some of you are my mentors, my peers and my coaches. And some of you have seen me in my underpants. Learning underpants, not the real underpants. So I have actually no specific objectives except that I must inspire you and share with you my journey in the business of learning and development, which I will do. But before I start, I want to make a couple of confessions. I just realized that the mayor, what's his name? Mike Rama, I don't think he was chosen for his good looks only. He was really chosen for his good thoughts, his good deeds and his good words, right? Not just for his good looks. But I also realized that he stole my speech. Everything that he said, I'm supposed to say it. Maybe he was here earlier and looked into my PowerPoint. Ready? Go? Ready now? 5,000 years ago in India, India was a hotbed of learning. It was the period of Renaissance. India knew how to travel by sea, by land, and also by air. 5,000 years ago, they had the technology. And a mentioned friend of mine tells me that Raju, in those days, the Indian wisdom, knowledge was so high that people at that time knew how to travel in a fourth medium, a fourth format, teletransportation. They knew this. That's how huge the wisdom was 5,000 years ago. Maybe there were no cell phones, maybe there were no iPads, but people knew a lot of stuff back in 5,000 years ago from today. In those days, the culture of learning was huge, big, just like it is now here in Cebu. And there was, the term guru came from that period. In those days, there was a guru, a very popular guru, a coach, a mentor, a teacher, by the name of Dronacharya, was the guru in demand. He taught royalties, kings, princes, everyone who was blue-blooded lined up outside the house of Dronacharya to be coached and mentored by him. And one of his pupils, one of his disciples, one of his students was a guy called Arjuna, Prince Arjuna. Now, Walt Disney made a movie on Prince Arjuna, but Prince Arjuna's talent, his skill, was at par with Achilles, if you know Achilles from the movie Troy. This guy could look, he could shoot the eye of a flying bird with a bow and arrow by looking at her reflection in a pail of water. That's how good Arjuna was, and he was a student of Guru Dronacharya. So gurus were highly respected. At the same time, in the same period, 5,000 years ago in India, there was another boy. Why is it that I'm talking to you at this time? There was a boy called Eklavya. An ordinary, underprivileged, low caste, underpaid, low status person, a barangay leader. You can't see his picture because it's too bright. He was an ordinary little boy, 10-year-old, and he wanted to be, it's okay, fine, I think it has to be in the lights. He wanted to be trained and coached and mentored by the great Guru Dronacharya. Everybody wanted to be trained and coached by the great Guru Dronacharya. So one day, accompanied by his father, Eklavya goes up to Guru Dronacharya's kubo, and falls on his knees and he says, "Oh great Guru, I want to be a student. Accept me as your mentee." Though there's no such word as mentee, accept me as your mentee, please teach me the sciences, the art, the philosophies, the literature, and also martial arts, also the art of war, the art of archery. And Guru, sitting on his pedestal, looks at the young boy, thinks of the circumstances, looks around at his own life, and turns the little boy down. And he says, "Sorry, I cannot be your coach, Stephen. I cannot mentor you, even though you have the passion, even though you have the desire, even though you have the willingness. I just don't have the time for you. Not today." Yeah. So the boy turns around, goes back. He's disheartened, but not discouraged. goes back into his jungle, goes back into his underprivileged neighborhood, and there he recreates a replica, an effigy of the great guru, places it on a pedestal, sits down cross-legged, and begins to study the sciences, the arts, the philosophies, the literature, and also starts practicing the martial arts of that time, including archery. Decades pass by, and he becomes really and truly good. As with any other person, if they put in so many hours and days in a practice. 20 years later, the great Guru Dronacharya is out in the same jungle for a hunt on a horse. I don't know why. Indians were supposed to be vegetarians. I don't know why Guru Dronacharya went for a hunt that night. Maybe he was hungry, maybe for the sport, maybe for the heck of it. No? But don't ask me that question, please. No? Why he went for a hunt when he was eating gulai all the time. So he was on a horse astride. As he was riding through the jungle, there was a little dog that was barking in that area that was disturbing the peace of mind of the hunter, the guru. You know, he was kind of making the birds fly away and the animals run away. And the guru, though patient as he was, though skilled and of a good attitude he was, he just didn't know how to handle a situation like that. So he loses his patience and he shouts out into the jungle, "Silence!" Just as he finishes saying that, from somewhere he hears the whizzing sound of arrows passing him. The arrows, how they cut the air and they pass through. And right after the arrows cut the air, the jungle turns deaf, being silent. Pin drops silence in the jungle, and the dog, like, it's gone. Back. And of course, the guru gets amazed. He said, "What could that have been?" And then as he moves along, he sees the dog in his path. In the path, right where his horse was, it's a little dog, and his mouth, the dog's mouth, was stuffed with arrows. And the arrows were shot in such a way that it did not cut the dog, did not hurt the dog, did not pain the dog, and not drop a drop of blood on the ground. Nothing. And when the guru came upon that, he said, "My God, that's an amazing skill. That's an amazing, astonishing skill. Who could have done that?" So he speaks out loud and he says, "Who is it who did this? Please present yourself to me. I'm the mayor of Cebu. No, I'm the guru of the royal palace. Please present yourself to me." So from the bushes, Eklavya steps out. It's kind of dark. What do we do with this? Just kill that light, no? Can you? So Eklavya, a little handsome Manny Pacquiao look-alike strapping young man, steps out with a huge bow in his hand and he says, "It was I." Can you still see it or no? They didn't know. Yeah? So he steps out and he says, "It was I, Master Guru Dronacharya, it was me who shot those arrows into the dog's mouth." And the Guru's amazed and he says, "Well, what's your name?" "And my name is Eklavya." "And who has been your coach, your mentor, your teacher? Who has taught you this fantastic skill and this amazing talent of archery? Where did you acquire it?" And the young man drops on his knees and he says, "Master, it was you. You have been my coach, my teacher all your life, all my life too." And afterwards, of course, the Guru does a little bit of coaching and finds out what the whole story was, and he figures out how the boy learned to self-study, how to self-discipline, and how to acquire mastery. And he's amazed. And, you know, Gurus have their issues, Gurus have their challenges in life, and he's filled with a sense of awe, and he doesn't know what to do. And then a brilliant idea comes into the Guru's mind, and he says this to the young man. Of course, at the time he's thinking of his royal mentees, the princes and the kings, and of course his own branding. And he says, "I need to ask you something, young man. Eklavya, Prince Eklavya of the barangay's, chief barangay's son. I want to ask you something. You do know the custom in India that if you are mentored and coached by someone, you have to make an offering an honorarium. In India it's called Guru Dakshina, a gift. And I'm going to ask you for payment now. It's time to pay it up. And the young man still on his knees, he says, Master, whatever you wish shall be my command. It always has been, all my life. Tell me, what is it that you want? Like the story? Ever heard it before? Great, I'm lucky, huh? Most Indians have heard it. So let me pause here. Let me pause here with the story. And you being learners and learning facilitators and practitioners, let's use the story to think about what can be learned as professionals and practitioners from this story. How do we become passionate about our learning? How do we self-study, acquire mastery in any field that we choose? Let's think about that. And at the same time, let's also try and guess what the guru might have asked of this young man. What's the gift that he might have seeked from him? Can we do that? So I'll pause for a minute, have a glass of water. You guys can think about what you can learn from this. A lesson or two, and then what is it that the guru might have asked of this young man, okay? So chat with yourself quickly, 1 minute, turn to your partner and say hello, Vanessa, and go. 1 minute, okay? Cuento. That was so cool. It was so nice to get that break. You know why? Because there was one thing, what they're talking about in the back. I thought they had a meeting of their own in the back. Yan pala may problema. Okay, so we're back. Yeah? So you've been thinking in the back of your mind, right? Consciously you're paying attention to the induction, but in the back of your mind, in another portion of your brain, you've been thinking about the story, right?
Your second brain.
Learning from you. What do you learn from Eklavya's discipline, mastery, persistence? What do you learn? Random. Besides that, besides the fact that he was really gung-ho.
Self-motivation or NLP.
So, that's jargon, self-motivation and NLP. What the heck is NLP? It's nothing. Get me on tape. Alright, that's one. Now, what do you really learn? Come on, speak from your heart. What is it that you learn? What is it that you can apply without reading the books and without using training jargon?
Who's just inspired? Be considered as a mentor without that mentor actually mentoring people, but just get that inspiration and work on by themselves.
No, that's what he did. What do you learn? What's our takeaway from that? What's our inspiration? Yeah? What inspires you? One more, and I'll give it to you. Yes, ma'am. Passion, yes. One obvious, not very obvious. No? Passion is one of them, and of course being inspired. NLP is not one of them. Unless I have to tell you that NLP goes back 5,000 years ago. It was just not called NLP in those days. I'll tell you later, maybe if there's a question and answer session, I'll show you. Lesson number 1 from this Eklavya metaphor, all Indians practice it, yeah? Let's call it Eklavyaism, yeah? It's give it all you got, even though you think or believe that you ain't got much. And this is heavy stuff, I'll tell you, because most all of us have this self-deflating perception of our talent and our resources. You don't need to be. Trust me, you don't need to be. From wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever your resources are, start from there and light yourself up. Somebody was asking me for a quote. Towards your aspiration, towards your dream, ignite yourself with such passion that people from far and wide will come watch you burn. And there's a science behind it. There's a reason behind it. Because when we are all born, do you think we have talent? Do you think we have education? Do you think we have all the certification and all the NLP trainings? We don't. We all start with the basic 5 senses. Yeah? Sight, sound, taste, touch and smell. And we express in those 5 senses is what we do inside our heads. Maybe we don't have the ability to think when we are babies and we are taken care of by our parents. Maybe that's a little impression, creates our foundations. But the moment we realize that we can think, we can make choices, we can make decisions, we can rationalize. Post that day, whether you are 15, 13, 14 or 21, your life depends on you. How you change your life depends on you. It's here inside there. Before that, it could be nature. Post that, it is all nurture. And it's in your control. And you are in charge. So, one of the learnings in this profession that I have practiced, and I've seen many others do it, they give it their all. I have a friend from Cebu. Her name is Michelle Alba Lin. She lives in the US now. She was with SGB for SGS. Yeah? SGS. Oh, is she nuts about learning? I tell you, she has a book in the toilet, she has a book in the bathroom, she has a book under the bed while she's loving her husband. She has a book everywhere. She attends workshops, she does seminars, and everywhere you go, she's now visually challenged. But she's still a lifelong learner. You can look her up on Facebook and tell her I said this about her. She was a teacher. So she inspires me, and there are many people in this country who have made me who I am. I can give you their names. One of them is her. No? So give it all you got, no matter how little you think you got. Every single day, every single moment, pour blood and sweat into this profession. And it will change you. It will change you, trust me. Malcolm Gladwell said, give it 10,000 hours. I have given it 30,000 hours. Michelle's given it 100,000 hours. And each one of you can give more than that. It's easy. It's a question of focus and passion. Forget watching Eid Bulaga. Forget watching Wow Wow Billy. You know, that's junk. Look for the real stuff and go after it like Eklavya did. That's number one. You're laughing, it's the truth. Come back to me after 5 years and say, Raju, I practiced that, and you'll be a changed person. Eklavyaism 2. This is something that takes a while to understand, and it also is something that people do it for the sake of appearances. Give it all back. All that you get, give it all back. After you add as much value as you can to it. So here you go. You're processing stuff. You're learning stuff. Mentors, teachers are inspiring you. Reading the books. It's going inside of you. You are a huge processor. People say that an individual mind is a universe in itself. So think of it. Data, knowledge, inspiration, wisdom, practices, skills go inside of you, go into this huge universe inside of you, and it can add value from your natural resources. Turn it out, put it out. That's NLP. Your impressions, process them, make them your expressions. Your expressions turn around and come back and become your impressions. The more you put it out, no matter what format, when you're invited to speak like this, when you write a blog, when you write an article, write a book, do a video blog, do a vlog, whatever, any chance you get to teach, to share, to facilitate, to learn, add value to it. It's powerful. I've had superb mentors. I've been blessed. In fact, in the last 2.5 years, I've had the biggest gurus sit in front of me. Rothwell, Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, Peter Senge, Bernie Villegas, Joseph Navarro, every single one of them poured onto me. And what do? I give it right back that very second I put it out. What does it do to me? It multiplies me. It makes me way much better than I am today. I wrote my first book, The One Line, in 2005. And I've had 5 years of experience in this business. After I wrote the book, maybe I knew a little bit about the subject matter because 5 years of practice in it. But post that, 7 years post that, every time I talk about that, I understand it, I process it, I get feedback, I get evaluated. That knowledge has multiplied 20-fold inside of me. I know it, there's no measure for it, but people recognize it, people sense it. So give it all back. I'm not talking about giving your money, your car, your home, your underwear, or your soul, or even your virginity. Give back what is good inside of you. You can keep your virginity. Yeah, I mean it. It works. There's a science that it comes back to you. Because this thing is like a sponge. When it pours out, it sucks it right back. Here, this session of mine today, so I spent 15 days planning it. The moment I'm done with it, it becomes multiplied in itself, doesn't it? That's number 2. That's the science behind it. Your expressions, Brian Tracy calls it, becomes your impressions. So the more you express, the more you become impressed. But see to it that what you acquire, what you gain, get graced by it, get influenced by it, add value, and put it right back. No knowledge in this world is original knowledge. Stephen Covey's 7 Habits came from the good book. Everybody knows that. Take any book and you go back into the history, you'll find that there was something similar, just put in a new bottle and processed again. New knowledge takes time. Rarely there's this moment of synergy, moment of aha, that new knowledge comes up. Is that good? Now let's go back to what did Guru Dronacharya ask of Eklavya. What do you think? What do you think, folks? What is that gift that he said, give it to me? This much.
I think the Guru asked Eklavya to tell everyone that I'm your teacher.
Right. Well, think about this, no? Why would the Guru do this? So that his branding improves? So that he picks up more business? What do you think he was? Me? No, of course not. He was a Guru Dronacharya. He's not trying to market himself. He's not getting testimonials. Okay, that's a good try though. Anything else?
The Guru asked Eklavya to train me.
Very nice. That's a good one. I should have been there 5,000 years ago. That would have been really gracious and humble of the Guru, wouldn't it? To train me. But it didn't happen in those years. It happens now. By the way, it does happen now today. There are people who can be younger than you, can be students, then someday they'll turn around and teach you. It's fine to be doing that. No? Anybody else?
It's about legacy. Since the Guru cannot buy customs, cannot train those that are not, because they have the caste system. So if you're not royal, then you can't teach. But so as a gift, he was impressed by Eklavya, so he's asking Eklavya to teach others what he has learned.
So become an apostle. Yeah, get market share, get certification. No, Drona certificate, certified NLP from Drona. Here's what the Guru asked, and it's the legacy in the Indian myth. It's the metaphor. It's a powerful one, and most Indians know this. But in the last 15 days, I did a little more research on this thing, and I'll tell you the science, not the science, the secret behind it. The Guru said to Eklavya, who was on his knees in front of him, he said, Anak. He said, son. What do you call him? Son in Cebuano. Anak pa rin, anak pa rin. He said, young man, prince, boy, yeah, archer, I would like to be gifted with the thumb from your right hand. And the moment the Guru said, give me the thumb of your right hand, Eklavya reached behind his back, pulled out a huge Rambo-like knife, and bang, he chopped his hand and let it drop on the feet of the Guru. He dropped it on the feet of the Guru. Now, 2 questions. Question number 1, since Eklavya was so good at shooting arrows, do you think he caused himself any pain, any hurt? Did he spill blood? That's the first question people ask. The second question is, why in heaven's name did the coach, the mentor, the teacher, yeah, the almighty Guru, why did he ask him for such a gift? Very good, yeah? So that no one will be better than his mentee, Prince Arjuna, the Achilles look-alike. No? So that his branding, his performance will not be marred. Because he didn't really teach him, remember?
Right.
Yeah? That's story number 1. So he said, now my market is protected, correct? Nobody's gonna get Drona certified anymore because this guy has no more thumb, right? He had copyright infringement. He trained on himself. He was a plagiarist. No? So that's story number 1. Oh, sorry, I'm going back. Learning from this action of Eklavya, when he pulled out his Rambo-like knife, chopped it, without even an oof or an aha or a doubt about it, no? Is in this profession of learning and development, coming I'll be there in a minute. After I finish. The learning from this, and before I share the learning from this, let me tell you a story. I already told you a story about my first day in British Council. About 7 years ago, I was speaking in a certain part of the world, and I was invited to speak to this 100 teachers and administrators. I was not invited a month before, or 2 weeks before, or a week before. I was invited the night before. They said, Raju, our speaker is gone a whole. Can you please make up for that speaker? And I said, what's the subject matter? And the event manager said, Raju, the subject matter was English conversational skills. And I said, I don't do that. You know, I'm a Mumbai. I don't know how to speak English. You know? I can only talk Tagalog. You know? I said, I can do leadership conversations. Would you like that? And the event manager said, okay, come on in, because we have nobody else, right? You're the cheapest and the easily available speaker. Come in. So next morning I go up, there are 100 people in this big hall, teachers and educators like yourself, and the announcement is made that speaker number one's not here. Instead we have a cheap speaker from India, yeah, discounted, buy one, take one, and he's going to talk about leadership. Yeah? So I begin my workshop, I do the icebreakers, I do the games, I do the coffee warmers, I do the energizers, and we start processing and we have fun. And we are having a lot of fun up until the time I realize that there's a group in the corner there, that one over there, not that one, somewhere out in the corner, who are not giving me any attention. They are paying no heed to the class. They are class A hecklers, and they are busy doing their own meeting. And as a trainer, facilitator, you all know that there are tricks and techniques on how to involve people. Right? You ask them a question, you go up to them, you smile at them, you wave at them, you throw them a chocolate, you get their attention. I did everything, but yet, this bunch of people wouldn't give me any heed, any attention. They kept on heckling. Come lunchtime, I put my mic down just like I did a while ago when they were heckling behind me. So I go up to them and I very humbly say, hello everyone, good afternoon. And they go, hello everyone. I said, is everything okay? They said, everything's okay. I said, are you enjoying your day? They go, yes we are. And I asked humbly, I said, how can I have more involvement from you? Yeah? Am I doing something wrong? Not throwing cups and saucers and forks and knives at each other, not during the lunch hour, but 1 hour after lunch, and another extra 30 minutes after lunch, they're still at it. This event manager and this bunch of teachers and administrators, by the way, senior ones, for that, you know, you mentioned senior. And after a month, excuse my Tagalog, I stood there in the corner, and I just quietly, throughout the 60 minutes, throughout the 120 minutes, plus the extra 30 minutes, is about merienda time already. They are still at it. Wake up. Whatever language they were speaking in that part of the world. No? 2:45, I got to them. I said, may I have a few words with you? I wasn't coached to be a coach that time, but you know, I was passionate about transferring learning. I was passionate about adding value to people's lives, like the mayor said when he stole my speech, no? Become passionate about sharing, no? So I was passionate about it. I go up to them and I said, may I ask you a couple of questions, folks? And they go, yes. I said, did you hear the announcement this morning? They said, yes, we heard it. All right. Have you planned to stay away from work these last few weeks? Did you plan to get away from work today? They said, yes. I asked, have you invested time and effort and sweat into coming here today? They said, yes. Have you taken care of your work, timetable, etc., whatever task you have in your table and your family, etc.? Ayushna. That means you are free. Also, the one question is, so from 9 a.m. until 12 time, even though you were heckling, did you enjoy what I was doing? Did you learn a bit? They said, yes, no problem with that. I said, then you're free until 5 p.m.? They said, yes, we're free until 5 p.m. I said, in that case, here's my deal. I'll give back whatever 50% payment I got from you, buy one take payment. I'll pay it all back to you. This is all I can return. I cannot return your time. I can return your money. Yeah? I'll give that to you. Allow me, because there are another 90 people in the room. They want to learn. They want to share. They are enjoying this. It's value to them. Let me go and finish my workshop. They said, okay. So 2:30 up. I've lost 2 hours in a training workshop, just like I did now. It's such a great incident. So coincidental. So I go up, I finish the workshop by 5 p.m. I get a applause and people smile. The other 90 become happy, and at the end of closing, those 10 people with their tails between their legs and their head hung down, they slowly step out of the hall. No? The other 90, some shake hands, some buy books, some ask for a discount on the books per head. No? That's life. No? And only one of them, a young teacher, comes up to me, and this was the greatest gift I ever got. And she says, Raju, she doesn't call me Raju, she says, sir. She says, sir, what you did for the last 2.5 hours when you was happy, and how you handled this, and there was no expression of irritation or annoyance on your face. That was amazing to me. It was a great learning. I've been a teacher for 2.5 years. I will remember this moment forever. I thank her from the depths of my heart. Till today she keeps in touch with me. She's probably now so much older. I bless her soul. The point there, ladies and gentlemen, is that there will be in the journey, in the quest for excellence, in the quest for learning that you are upon today, no matter whether you're a junior or a senior, there will be hurdles in your path. Some planned, some pre-planned, some man-made, some non-man-made. They will be there because such is life. The universe turns. Not everyone's happy, not everything is happy. There will be things in your path. Your job is to stay on track. Your job is to go back and give all you got. Your job is to go keep on adding value forever and ever. Trust me. And it changes you, it emancipates you, it brings you closer to heaven. Trust me, it's an amazing thing. It's not about money, it's not about branding, it's not about market share, it's about what happens to you inside as a human being. You just go take a leap on the, what's the pyramid? What's the pyramid? Maslow's pyramid. You just get on the echelon, you get on the peak and you plant a flag right away because you do this, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So, those are my 3 points about becoming passionate about learning and development. Go for it with guts, with glory. Science behind it. No? So one question remains about the thumb. Why did the Guru ask for the thumb? No? Those days, like today, anyone who kind of achieves this spiritual status in learning and transferring learning, they learn to see the future in their mind's eye. They become systems thinkers. They know what is a vicious cycle and they know what's a virtuous cycle. The Guru foresaw a vicious cycle in the nature of that young archer. That's why he asked for his thumb to squash his ego, to surrender his ego. Because think of it, if you're a tribal boy and in 20 years, totally on your own, you become as good as Achilles, what happens to your ego? It's normal that it will bloat up. So the Guru foresaw that, and my research tells me that that was the reason why he asked for the thumb. Not for his branding, not for his royal coaches and mentors, but for creating a virtuous cycle. We can all do that. We need to constantly do that, and I tell you folks, you can all do it. I'm not saying I'm there, I'm on the road, but it's a beautiful journey. So on that note, I'd like to just end with a couple of quotes. I'm done. One of my favorite quotes is, ladies and gentlemen, from where you are in life today, in the journey, in the quest of learning, from where you are to where you want to go. The path is not long, but the way is deep. You cannot just walk there, you have to take a leap. You have to take a leap of faith to become a better you every single day. Good evening and mabuhay.